Right, go on.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, Liverpool fans. Good evening, football fans. Welcome to Talking Reds. And what a day. What a tremendous day in terms of the weather. I'm hotting up. The transfer rumours are hotting up. And I am sweating. But I tell you who's sweating even more, Naj. I tell you who is sweating even more. Newcastle fans. Newcastle fans are absolutely sweating with the news of Alexander Isak potentially coming to Liverpool. There's been nothing but talk about Alexander Isak in the last 48 hours. We're going to go through everything that has come out today about Alexander Isak and his potential move to Liverpool. Quansah is on the move as well. Jarrell Quansah, it looks like he is going to be signing for Bayer Leverkusen according to recent reports in the last an hour or so. And Marc Guehi is the target for Liverpool to replace Jarrell Quansah as well. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Welcome everyone that is joining tonight. Make sure you do smash that like for Alexander Isak. 50 likes. If we can get to 50 likes tonight, guys, for Alexander Isak and Liverpool news in general. Thank you for watching so far. And get involved in the comments on your thoughts of Isak coming to Liverpool, and your thoughts of Guehi, and your thoughts of Quansah leaving Liverpool to Bayer Leverkusen. And also subscribe to the channel if you are new, if you want to keep it updated on all Liverpool news. Now, as we spoke earlier about what's going on, and a lot's gone on since we have spoke.
Yeah.
Quansah out the door potentially, Guehi coming in. But let's start with the main man himself, Alexander Isak. According to many reports today. So if Isak rejects the opportunity to sign a new deal with Newcastle, it could open a small window for the Reds, according to Joe Rimmer, who is a very renowned person at the Liverpool Echo, so quite well known at the Liverpool Echo. And there were more reports earlier on as well. Alexander Isak and Newcastle are due to hold talks over a new contract. However, there should be no doubt that the club have to match his ambitions to ensure he remains a Newcastle player. That is according to Newcastle reports up in Newcastle County Chronicle. And I'm also going to get this one out as well. Paul Gorst. It's been suggested that Magpies are not totally convinced they can tie down their talisman, Alexander Isak. So reports all day about Isak, and it's always been the same. If there's an opportunity for Liverpool to jump into Isak, it seems like they're going to take it, Naj.
It's got to be done on it. I mean, it's been a very, very quick movement over the last couple of days, which I think is like, you know, it's interesting that how quick it is moving. Sorry, I'm having a nightmare with the background. Yeah, it's quite quick how it has moved. Like, I think it's just, you know, you look at it like something like this, like it could be clickbait or could be not clickbait. I think it's like too much to not to be clickbait. Something has happened, something has been said, something has arisen. So it's not. There's no like sort of, you know, like we like someone like drums up a transfer to like try and get the money and stuff like that. And like I'm trying to think of an example of it. Probably Liam Delap's like a good example.
Yeah.
Interest was drummed up around certain clubs.
And agents like to push it as well.
Yeah. There's no talk of like, there's no talk of that or anything. I don't know. It's weird. It's as if Isak has said anything himself, or like, you know, I think the Wirtz transfer, like I've said this, it's huge, isn't it? Like, that's like, oh my God, I can go and play for that team. They just signed Florian Wirtz. They've got Mo Salah, they've got Van Dijk, they've got McAllister, they've got Gravenberg, they've got a new left back, the best left back in the league last season, Kirkes. They've got Luis Diaz and Gakpo fine out on left wing. They've got the best keeper in the world in Alisson. They've just won the Premier League. They probably could have gone and won the Champions League if we'd have beat that PSG side. And that's like I say, like I said the other day, the precipice of what Liverpool are achieving, that they've already achieved this season, and what they can achieve in the future. The missing ingredients is a certain Swedish man who plays up front for Newcastle, and I think he's the answer really to go to that level. Not like Liverpool aren't, to go to that level and be at that level and stay at that level.
I think Isak alone will probably know that he's a step above Newcastle. No offense to Newcastle, they're a big club, they're a massive club, certainly one of the biggest in the Premier League. But to a Liverpool and a Man United and and a Real Madrid, a Barcelona, clubs like that, they're a different level, they're a different step. And to have the opportunity now to go to Liverpool, which is there, whether it be this year or next season, I think Alexander Isak would be certainly more than up for that. And like I said, it's been 48 hours now of this pushing. It's sort of come out of nowhere, really, because those Isak links had dried off a little bit. There was sort of towards a couple of months ago talk about Isak, but being like a complicated deal to happen. Then that was all Ekitike. Ekitike was mainly pushed. And the last 48 hours, it has been Alexander Isak coming back in. Big up, Jen. How are we doing? Is it Florian? Here we go tomorrow. Yes, Florian has apparently arrived in the UK, in Liverpool, to get his medical done for tomorrow. And I absolutely love the aviator that Jen's got with the Florian Wirtz on there. Isak will have to push the move, and that's the only way it happens. Good evening, Parliament. How are we doing this tonight? And as Jen said there, guys, if you can, it would help us out massively if you were to smash those likes. Thank you very much for Jen for saying it as well. Is this Isak 100% Paul Goss prove or an April Fool's again? Paulo said there. I'm pretty sure it's not an April Fool's. Reese, I didn't know you'd said anything, Reese, about coming on. I can't get onto 1 sec. I will send the link for Reese as well. I didn't realise he had said anything. But I'll send the link for Reese. But 1 second, Reese, I will send you the link. 1 second. I'm going to go over what was said here by Lee Ryder, obviously he's a Newcastle FC writer for Chronicle, which is up in the northeast. This is what he said about Alexander Isak and what about Liverpool as well. I personally think that Newcastle or any other club would be fine to have to turn down £150 million for any player if that price is on the table. It's just an astronomical amount of money, and Liverpool were really back up to speculation. I think it turns into one of the biggest sensations in world football very, very quickly. Then you think about the player. If he wants to move and his head has been turned by a sway of crazy money, Isak's agent will be pushing for him to get a better money or remains under contract for 3 more years. So there is going to be some contracts. I did speak to a Newcastle fan earlier about they're expecting him to get new contracts this summer. And I was saying, do you think they might put a clause in there potentially to allow him to go to a club like Liverpool next summer? And that's the Newcastle fan does expect him to go next summer. But if there's a chance this summer, why not go for it this summer?
I just think it's like, I don't know if he'll take a new contract. I'll be honest with you. He's already contracted 2028, 2027. It's a long time. That'll take him for 29, if I'm right. I don't know. It makes more sense for him to move now, I would say. I'm not saying this just from like a Liverpool point of view. I'm saying this from like a player. Like, you got to think 29. You're not really going to get if he stays till next season. He's 27 next season, obviously. You're only going to get, I don't know, could have quite a long prime, but 29. Traditionally, you're not going much more past 32, are you? Really, realistically, at the peak of your powers as a striker. Most strikers, sort of drop off and play a little bit different and stuff like that. If you want like the peak Isak, it's now, isn't it? It's now or never, really, I think. So I'd
have a chance to get him now, yeah. Before he does get into his prime. And like I said, it's very rare that they get into 32, 33 when Lauer's done it, Kane's doing it, and they're special players. So I think I think Isak can be that special player.
Yeah.
Go on to his 32s, but he doesn't really go past that usually. It's a bit of a different. With striking position, you need to rely a lot on pace. Yeah. I know some strikers aren't like that. But Isak is a lot of pace, and when you drop off a bit as a striker, it impacts massively.
He's technically very good though, as well, isn't he? Like he's a very technical striker, which I think is good. He's good at the thing is with Isak, like even if you got him now, and you got him for 5 years, you get him through to his 31. Like Liverpool have got the prime then of him, so it's just going to be good. Yes, Reese.
What happened, boys?
I didn't realise you said you were coming on tonight, Reese. Unless you said,
I put it in the host chat. I
didn't see it. That's all. Sorry.
No worries.
But yeah, I know. Naz messaged me about coming on as well. We spoke about it earlier. So yeah, there we go. Just getting everyone in, everyone's comments in as well. So Paula said, "Give him 125 million, nothing else." Newcastle can sold off with 150 million. I think the 150 million is worth it. Reese, what do you think about Isak? Do you think he's worth the 150 million?
I think he's worth it. I don't think we're gonna have to pay 150 though. I think that's just more the scary talk to try and put Liverpool off or teams off that it's 150. I don't think it will be 150. I think it will be 130 or something like that, maybe. And I don't even think it will be 130.
Negotiate it down easy.
I don't even think it'll be 130 all up front. I think it'll be like 100 million up front, maybe 110, and then you do like 15 or 20 million installments or bonuses. It will be interesting though, because obviously he's got 3 years left, so Newcastle in a quite strong position in terms of negotiations. I do think he will have to come to them and say that he wants to leave, and then it's about whether they are kind of willing to listen to that, or if they say no, and they might try and say next year. But I think it's now or never. I think now it's now. I know I was saying before, maybe keep, because we can do the false 9 with Diaz. I know some people have said Vert's false 9. I don't really want to see him play there, even though I know he can play there. I'd rather him in the 10.
Yeah, I think it was today.
In the 10 or the left, that's the only positions I want to see him, but mainly the 10. But I do think, obviously, if you look at a lot of the talk on Twitter and the powers that be, that if this is going to happen, it's not going to happen until towards the end of the window, because obviously Liverpool right now, once they've done Verts and Kirkers, they've got to balance out the books a bit and sell a few players, whether that be Nunez, whether that be Quansah, who's close to going by Leverkusen, a few other players and whatnot. But I think it's possible. I think it's very possible. And if it does happen, the rest of the league's got to pray. That's what I gotta say.
They better pray, because that quadruple is actually possible. I think that quadruple is possible.
They better go and do some judge. They better go and do some sort of something, like, because it's going to be a problem.
Jasmine says here, he is the best in the world. I actually believe that, in terms of strikers right now, who is better than Alexander Isak? And someone commented on our TikTok earlier saying, "Oh, he's not worth that sort of money." But I'm thinking, in this day and age, yeah, probably, probably is that much money. If you're talking about Verts going for £100 million, £160 million, I'd say exactly about that. Because when you think about strikers are the ones that are the most expensive players on the ones that get you the wins. Strikers are the ones that put the ball in the back of the net. When you play football, when you start playing football when you're a kid, all the way up to adult, the idea that the goal of the game is to get the ball in the back of the net, and the person that does that the most are the ones that are the most expensive, because they're the most valuable in terms of getting the wins and getting results. Alexander Isak right now, for me, is the most complete striker in the world out of everything. So to say he's not worth like 150 million pounds, I don't think any player should be worth that, but that's today's market, and I think that should be what is the price that Newcastle have to put on him. They've got to.
How much is Chelsea just signed Liam Delap for?
40? Is it 40?
Is it 40?
40 million, that's what I thought.
That was a buyout clause in his contract.
Yeah.
1 season in the Prem. Isak's going into his 4th season in the Prem. How Premier League proven is Isak? Since you're paying for that as well. Like he's Premier League proven. You just know, like, anyone who gets him, he's going to be good. Like, he's going to be unbelievable because he's just that good. Like, Liam Delap, with all due respect to Liam Delap, will he do well at Chelsea? He was in an Ipswich team that wasn't doing too well.
I think he'll do all right.
I think he's good. I think he's good.
You got to bear in mind that he scored around 12 goals at Ipswich. You don't really create much chances, so I think he'll get at least 15 goals for the season. I think at least. 15.
Point of the matter is, he's had 1 season in the Prem and he's 40 million, and that was a buyout clause in his contract. 4th season.
Yeah.
120 million, 130 million.
Yeah. No, not really, because I think cost of the market today's price, if he didn't go for the release clause, I think Chelsea would have to pay 50 or 60 million for him.
Yeah.
Just because of English tax, and then they would have had a bit more power at Ipswich, and then you would have kind of had a bit of a power struggle between Man United and Chelsea.
Definitely.
I mean, it's gotten to the point now where, like, I think with the Verts thing, and it was like, oh, Shirky, if you don't get Verts, Shirky's the second one after that. And I thought it's got to the point now where now you show me Verts, do not go back to Shirky. Now you show me Isak, I didn't want Ekitike in the first place, Reese.
Yeah.
But imagine showing me Isak now, showing me that showing me that nice steak and chips, and now you're coming out with one of them steak pies. It's a bit different.
What's funny though is that obviously I still don't want Ekitike, but I'm softening a bit, as in I didn't really rate the player. I think he's a good player. I just think what they're trying to ask for him is way too much. I think he's technically a decent player. I think he's a lot better than the stage Nunez was at, in my opinion. But I just think it's the amount they're asking for. I think for me, he should cost.
They have lowered it though. They have lowered it contra Romano.
How much?
68 to 76 million pounds.
Still high. For me, it's 50 at best. That's at best for me. At best.
Yeah.
But for me, is he an international?
No.
Is he international yet? Has he won any trophies? He scored any major goals to the extent to help Frankfurt win a cup, a German cup, or like I say, the Bundesliga? No. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at for standout moments, or like kind of some sort of amazing that makes it okay. You have to pay that price, kind of thing. Whereas with Isak, he's an international. He's been pivotal to Newcastle. Both seasons they've gone and got the Champions League. He's been like the vocal point up front. You know what I mean? And with him, I just think he's ready now. I think from what it looks like, Liverpool are not only trying to see if they can retain the league, they're trying to see if they can dominate, similar to what City done, where they won 3 or 4 in a row. Obviously, that's going to be easier said than done. It's going to be incredibly difficult because the Premier League is the most competitive league in the world. But I think
we're doing all we can to do that now.
This is what game and no, this is what we've been waiting for. This is what we've been screaming about for the club to do. Don't sit on the fence. When you're on top, strengthen. When you have your foot on your rival's neck, don't let go. And when they're saying sorry and they're asking for air, no, you keep your foot on their neck and say, no, we're not finished yet. We're trying to. We'll take our foot off when we're ready. So I'm all for it.
I heard Brighton striker is Wilson's replacement. Yeah, João Pedro. I think that's potential to happen to Newcastle. But again, João Pedro, we speak about it earlier, won't we? Now it's probably good depth. It's a different way of playing as well for Newcastle, which allows them to do that. So I think he is a sort of Wilson replacement. But again, if Jen said it earlier, if this happens, it's because maybe Isak pushes it a little bit, and I don't think he'll hand a transfer request in as such. I think he has a lot of respect for Newcastle.
Yeah,
in that, but I think he could push it a little bit.
I mean, I think Newcastle are like a really, they're a pretty big club. Newcastle, they're not small. They've got a good project on the way. I know it's the money they've got and stuff like that. That's why they're in the position they're in. But I mean, Eddie Howe's done well with that Newcastle team as well. So credit to him on getting the players to play the way they do. But it's like sort of. Yeah, he'd come in and be an instant success. Like I said yesterday, like you could literally win 3 golden boots on a bounce. He's got probably the best providers in the entire league with Salah, Wirtz, Diaz, Gakpo, McAllister. All them players are so on it with passing, so on it with through balls, so on it with like McAllister. He goes on the radar. Them little balls McAllister does. But in defence, you seen him how many goals he's scored of just taking that touch and banging it in the bottom corner. Like that is all that's all we've been asking for.
A killer. You're looking for a killer. Somebody who's not messing about. Somebody knows.
That goal he scored against in the Carabao Cup final, just straight away bang.
That goal, and he did one against us at Newcastle where he kind of shimmied to the right to get the ball out of his feet, and before you know it was in the top corner. And you've never, like I said, Van Dijk's obviously best centre back in the league, best centre back in the world, has been for a while, but I've never seen anyone kind of make Van Dijk look like, okay, he is human sometimes, kind of thing. He's the only one who kind of looks like, okay, he can kind of hang with Van Dijk. Everyone else, you kind of know what happens.
Well, put it this way, Van Dijk's played against Mbappe multiple times. All these, like Haaland goes and plays in Canate because he can't get a sniff off him. Isak will play on whoever. He does not care. Like, and he's so smart in what he does. I've said this in the past. Like, he knows that Van Dijk's so good at getting in front of him or, reading him and stuff like that. He just shoots quickly. He just shoots because then he's so hard to defend someone who's got an absolute rasper of a shot. Like, you can only block it, really. And if you hit it so hard and quick and, like Reece said, shimmy and hit it, it's almost undefendable. Like, he's made...
he can't react quick enough.
Yeah, he's made...
You can't prepare because it's already too late.
Gabriel look like the Chuckle brothers when they play against him. They're banging into each other, falling on the floor and stuff, and he's just running through them. And do you know what? Like, to have a player like that, another dynamic player like Isak in your squad, it'd just be ridiculous.
Jennifer says here, there is a fine line between build in on strength and rebuild. Getting a bit worried about all the names linked to leave. And I don't think we are sell to buy as such this summer, but I think we will want to get as much as we can back. And I think I don't know who said it earlier, someone said about balancing the books, about sales. I think it might have been Lewis Steele, said about balancing the books. And that's exactly what we won't want to do. And if we've got Isak, I don't think we'll get a net profit of like zero or anything like that. If we've got Isak, because that's a different level. But I think we could certainly get the Wirtz money back. And sales are the way that happens. And Quansah looks like it's on the way out. Now it has been agreed with a verbal agreement with Bayer Leverkusen to Fabrizio Romano. So Quansah on the way out. We should get another defender, really. I think we need a defender before Quansah left. Guehi is the one that could be looked at, boys. Marc Guehi of Crystal Palace, considered as an option as centre-back, according to Lewis Steele, and also by other people as well. Dave O'Cop said about Marc Guehi, and other people did as well. So now is Marc Guehi. Spoke about him earlier, didn't we? I'm sure we spoke about him. Or was it last night we spoke about him? It might be last night.
I'm really massive fan of him over the last few years. And believe it or not, I only found this out for the stream because I was just looking. For Guehi's quite young, isn't he? How old's Quansah? We talked about how young Quansah is. And turns out that Guehi's 1 year older than Quansah. And Guehi's got 1 year left on his contract. How much?
I'd say it's more experience as well in terms of internationally.
Yeah, he was definitely England's best defender in the last tournament.
Yeah.
And probably England's best player in the actual tournament. He was very good. He's very cool, calm, and collected. I like that about him as well. He's very level-headed player, isn't he? Like, he doesn't not rash. He can play in a back three. He can play in a maybe maybe Slot's looking at that. Into three some games. When he puts Gravenberg back into the role.
I like that. Yeah.
Maybe he's looking at something like that. I've seen rumours that Guehi, because in his last year of his contract, 45 million. Now, if we sell Quansah for 30 million, 15 million for a player that's a year older with, probably nearly 20, 30 England caps already, and he's Crystal Palace's captain. Wow. What an upgrade that is. That is a truly really...
That's not disrespecting Quansah either. It's just that's probably pushing up how good Guehi is.
Yeah, true.
It is a level up, I'd say. Yeah, Liverpool are not proactively seeking to sell Quansah, but they are willing to listen to an offer around the price mark of £40 million, Reece. £40 million for Quansah, I think it's pretty decent, isn't it?
I think that's cracking money, to be fair. I think that's, considering he only kind of came onto the scene, maybe 2 seasons ago on the clock. Obviously, he didn't feature much last season. He started the season, as we know, but Konate kind of regained his place, and he's come from the academy. I think that's great business. I think that's the kind of business that we kind of expect under Edwards and Hughes, and the kind of way FSG were operating in terms of sell to buy when Edwards was around in his first stint. So I heard it might be north of 40, which is maybe between 30, 35, but anything between 30 and 40 for me, I'll take. Obviously, he's not going to play regularly for us. He could still be a squad player, but like we've said previously, I don't think Slot trusts him like that. I don't think, and the stage we're at now, I don't think we have time to wait. I think if you look at Slot, even how Edwards and the recruitment team, Hughes move, it's only top players. It's like for like, when you come in, you can't slip. If you slip, you might not get an opportunity again. You saw it with Chiesa, you saw it with Elliott. Certain players, when they did get games like against Plymouth and stuff, if you're not cutting it at the top level, you might not get another look in, because we can't afford to make any mistakes. So if he does move on, I wish him all the best. He's still got so much time to have a great career. I think he'll do quite well in Germany. And who's to say he don't come back to the Premier League at some point, or maybe Liverpool don't have some sort of buyback clause put in further down the line.
We certainly do, Jen. Also, we have to resolve the Konate situation ASAP. Quansah going, Robertson potentially going, Trent already gone. Konate, we don't know what's going on with there. I think Gomez will stay. If Quansah goes, Gomez is staying anyway. Konate, again, contract situation does need sorting out. We can't lose too many defenders, can we, Naj?
No, I did say this though. I've always been saying keep Gomez for his versatility. I don't. It doesn't make sense to sell him. It just doesn't. I mean, he's not. It's the same old. He's injury prone, but he's worth keeping because he's been at the club. He cost us like $2 million in 2015 or 2014. You'd get half decent money for him, 20 million probably. He's not even worth getting rid of. Like, and not in the fact that he's a bad player or anything. He's good. He's just the versatility. Is just for me in a back line that's getting players. You know, Robertson's probably going. Quansah looks like he's out the door. You know, don't get Guehi. Gomez is going to be needing to be there for next season, especially in like cup games and stuff like that. I think you need him there. He's as well. People forget that he's. You know, we talk about Robertson and Salah and all that being players that have been at the club so long and they understand how it goes. I don't think anyone would get it more than Gomez. He's been through 3 managers, and he's probably the only player that can say that who's been at Liverpool.
Yeah, so, he was around before the Klopp era. I didn't think about that something. He's been around for a long, long time.
He lived the dark days.
Yeah, he did.
He lived the dark days. He loves that Marcus Babbel top there. You got Naj. Marcus Babbel, that is a throwback. That was one of my favourite defenders growing up, That was one of my first, what kit was that? Was that 96, 97?
Yeah, what's that?
2001.
2001, was that late?
No.
Yeah, Owen final, wasn't it? Yeah, Owen final, wasn't it? FA Cup. It does give me those vibes as a kid. Brownfoot, if we sell them, then Ben Dirk. I mean, yeah, Brownfoot is an option. Sleepy Forest, it is an option, but I just think Everton. It's going to be hard to get off Everton. Will they want to sell to us? They will be hard. He thought Bayer Leverkusen were hard negotiators. Everton will certainly be worse than that. Quansah, Nunez, Chiesa, Costas, Elliott, Morton, TAA. One second, it's gone up there. One thing, but possibly Jones, Jota, Ibu, Robert, Diaz, Gomez. That's a lot. I don't think Jones goes. I don't think Jota goes. Ibu, I hopefully stays. Robert, I think possibly will go. Diaz, that's been on the back, but I don't think Diaz is certainly going, and I don't think Gomez goes. If Quansah goes, I don't think Gomez goes.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think that would be a mistake. It should be one or the other. For me, I would keep Gomez just for the experience, and like Naj said, he's more versatile. He can play across the whole back line, so it makes more sense.
When Gomez comes in, though, you know what you're going to get out of Gomez.
Exactly.
You're going to get a 6 out of 10, or you're going to get an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Quansah, you can get a 2 out of 10.
Yeah, we can't afford for no 2s. Anything under 5, the worst has to be a 5 if you're having an off day, which is average 5 or 6. Can't be anything below that. It's worrying times. Otherwise, you get 2s and 3s.
Waleed says here we need a defensive utility player, and Guehi is perfect for that role. I think he is, and you know what? Actually, I bet Guehi will be all right at DM. Worst case scenario here. I'm not saying he should be DM, but I think he'd do a good job at DM in certain
defensive mid
times needed. Yeah.
Has he ever played there for Palace?
As a DM, I just think he's got the capability. I think he's got the abilities to cover there. Not saying if Gomez gets injured, it should be Ender or Bajcetic. But if in certain games, if he needs to switch it up a little bit, he's got a 3 at the back. He can push into that role. If say he played 3 at the back like Gomez did, and he pushed into that role going forward, I think he could do that.
You know, one thing I really like about Guehi, there's a couple of things actually. And when we was linked to him last year, I was like, yeah, I'm a fan of that. And when Newcastle linked to him last year, I was like, he's going to be a good player if he goes to them. He's a good player anyway. But what I do really like about him, he's, centre backs like in the Prem. I mean, everyone really has to be like good on the ball, quite progressive in the passing, quite progressive in moving with it, being fast with it. I think Guehi's like one that sort of because he plays for Palace, he gets really overlooked by other teams and stuff like that. Like, he's so good on the ball, and he's very quick as well. Like, I think that's something maybe Slot is looking at, or maybe that's just the profile of player that Liverpool want to get in. And like I said, he's a captain of Palace. I mean, I thought he's 26, mate, 24, and he's captain at Palace. Won the FA Cup with the Palace team. Thinking of actual Palace themselves, they could afford to sell him. I was thinking this just then. someone put about Diamande, didn't he, from Sporting? And I was thinking,
yeah,
you've got Lacroix in, haven't they? And he's been really good for them at Palace. And he play a 5 at the back. Forgot who else they have at the back now. Oh, who've they got at the back with Lacroix? Richards. They play 3, don't they? Richards, Munoz, Tyrant Mitchell. Like, he sort of plays left centre back and left.
Been injured, hasn't he, a little bit?
Yeah, but I think he's just. Yeah, I think Palace could possibly afford to cash in now, because I think next season everyone's going to be all over him. So do they cash in now, get the money for him? 45. Didn't he pay nothing for him? I think he was free, wasn't he, from Chelsea, if I'm right? So I don't know. Makes sort of sense to me. You got Quansah coming out. Guehi comes in. He's well more experienced. He's just better. But I think Quansah's got a good ceiling. But I think, given the age of Guehi, he's already at that ceiling. Maybe this is, could he go a bit further now? Like, he's only a year older. Nothing really in football, is it?
As Jennifer said here, 40 plus people watching and only 5 likes. Come on, press that button. And Joe also says there as well, smash those likes. If we do that, guys, in the chat, if you are watching and you like sort of Liverpool content, you want to keep up with Liverpool content on all the time, Liverpool news, transfer news, and better content, because here, as DB said, right now, big up Darwin Nunez. Please hit the likes, people. This is such a good channel with so much potential. Trust me, I don't think you guys realise what we can give you as content. We want to give you the best Liverpool content out there. This isn't just going to be a news channel. It's going to be everything about Liverpool and football in general. We want to give you some brilliant content. We've got some brilliant ideas. But what helps massively is you hitting that like button and subscribing. If you are new, subscribe. If you're not new, then enjoy it every single night. We're live every single night. But smash the like, because what the smashing the like does, it helps us in the growth of YouTube. It gets us our names out there, and people come across it. Like DB only came across our channel. What was it last week, DB? He came across it and he absolutely love it since. You smashing that like helps us do that, and it helps us grow massively. And if you could just do that, as DB said there, it costs you absolutely nothing to do that. And I promise you guys, everything will go back into you. Everything that comes with us comes back into the community. I've got some brilliant ideas for this channel. I don't just want to be giving you the news every night. I want to really entertain you guys at home. And if all you could do is just hit the like buttons to help. Let's go on to the Milos Kerkez then, because Luis Diaz has come out and spoken about Luis Diaz, Milos Kerkez, and now Liverpool has shaken hands on the total package for Milos Kerkez, so that is going to be a done deal as well, around £40 million, despite the Cherries standing on their firm £45 million valuation. So they got the £5 million off in the end, Reece, for Milos Kerkez.
Yeah.
It seems.
Not surprised. That's what I said. Like I said, a lot of teams are going to negotiate with Liverpool, and they feel they got the power. Liverpool's got the power. Liverpool just won the Premier League. Everyone wants to come here. Like I said, people go and check Edwards' record. Edwards, when he gets in a room with someone, you're going to bend to his will before he bends to your will. Pause. You know what I mean? So, great bit of business, 40 million. I did say it'll be around 40, maybe 5 million with add-ons, but it's around 40 overall. Not surprised. Like I said, I back the recruitment team, and I'm just over the moon.
Potter at it again, isn't it? Michael Potter at it again. This is what he does.
This is like some Harry Potter, and that just doing magic with the wand and that, But I back the whole recruitment team and everything that's going on with Liverpool, the movement, the positive energy. I'm here for it. And like I said, all the rivals and everyone, they need to be scared, because we've been doing well without spending money. Now we're spending money. I've said this before, the day we start spending, it's going to be scary hours for everyone. So yeah, the rest of the rivals, I wouldn't want to be still. So yeah.
I know. I've seen rivals absolutely losing it in recent weeks with Liverpool's transfers.
Yeah,
and I can't lie, it's
hilarious.
Every minute of it, I'm literally licking every single tier.
It tickles me when I see certain things. But go on now, sorry.
If Isak comes, all you hear is, he's terrible. Yeah, he's just going to get.
If Isak comes, X is actually it's shutting down for the day.
You're going to see another side of me, like Jekyll and Hyde, different personality. You're going to get the shades out. You're going to see that different side, still proper arrogance. None of this humble respect, nice to meet you stuff. No.
We're going to do some mad things on this channel, by the way. We've already decided on doing like a fancy league stream next year, and we might do forfeits.
I'm all for it. Let's run
We might
it.
be doing forfeits next year, so make sure you do if you want to be part of that. As DB says here, it's top channel already. This is one of the best top LSE channels. Not quite there yet, DB. I do want to be one of the top LSE channels, but there's some very, very good channels out there. I certainly admire a lot of them. I've been in contact with.
We appreciate the comment anyway.
I appreciate some good content creators out there, and they're just the inspiration. But I want to do different things to what they do as well. I'm happy giving you the news every night, but I want to do different things as well. Absolutely, I was trying to entertain you guys, the Liverpool fans, and give you the best content we physically can. But yeah, Kelly says we have suffered for decades. It's about time. It's about time, and it's about time. You know, we saw the Boston Red Sox fans crying about that, about FSG sort of forgetting them a little bit and coming over to us. It's about time. It's about time. We have suffered for long enough. And I said it earlier on TikTok. I said that we literally went from the Premier League winners to Europa League win a few seasons. That's like Steph Curry playing NBA basketball and playing college basketball, you know, a couple of years after in his prime. That's how much of a drop off it is. Let us have this moment. Let us have. John Henry is clearly cared about us a little bit now. It's nice to see. And as for Love said there, if we get Isak, it's over for the other EPL teams. It is over. It's done. It's done.
Do you know my question?
I was naming to it now.
I got a question for you, Damon. No, who would you have as your captain and your assistant, your vice captain? I can think of the obvious ones. But who would you have? Because you got options there now. You got a few options. It's not just Salah and Isak. If you got Isak, you got Wirtz, you got McAllister, depending on his day. You got Kirkes and Frimpong, depending on the assists and chances they're going to be creating. Who would you have as your two if we were to get Isak as part of that four?
What we're talking FPL, I'm guessing.
Yeah, FPL, yeah.
Is he really? Is he?
It's nice to have
reveal his secrets? You can't let him reveal his secrets.
His options. It's nice to have options.
You're asking me. I'm a sweat on FPL. I'd have a midfielder because get more points for clean sheet bonus. I'd have Salah over.
Well, Dame, who would you pick then if we were to get Isak? You do the obvious two.
Isak's got to be captain, isn't it? If we got Isak, he's got to be captain.
Who's
goals this guy will get?
Who's vice? You're gonna do the obvious one.
But vice don't make a difference, does it? If they play, they don't get points. They do
get points. I'm sure they get points.
No, it doesn't make a difference. They only become captain when everyone don't play. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I can't lie.
Yeah, they should be. Otherwise, it's pointless doing it, really.
No, I could just pick anyone. I was there picking like proper things about doing it over.
But you still got to pick someone that's if you captain Isak, you got to pick someone that's going to take over captaincy if he's not playing. Just be careful of Man City players because Pep Guardiola sort of changes his team every single week. I hated it. I picked Foden, took him out. I picked Marmoush. In fact, Nigel tell you about this. I had Marmoush in my team for fucking 5 weeks. Took him out and he got a goal of the season. The game I took him out.
Same. Exactly the same.
The goal of the season.
Premier, the FPL is going to be interesting next year. I fully expect 3 players going straight into FPL already.
And we will set up as well, guys. We will set up a Talking Reds FPL leaderboard, so we'll get it in the chat. We'll get it in the things at the bottom, the code to get in, and join us in there and enjoy a nice little competition. And like I said, we'll probably do forfeits. Maybe like a monthly forfeit of So like August, whoever loses in August, whoever's bottom of August, will do a forfeit. We'll keep it PG for YouTube.
Good luck trying to do that, Damo, by the way. It'll be hard if a lot of people join. I try to do my...
I love it, though. I love the community. I love people getting in as well. And Dominic says, I'm a Newcastle supporter. The rest of us should stay at home if you get Isak. I mean, he said it there. He said, the rest of us should stay at home. Don't think he will go this season. Looking forward to him getting the win against you in the second game. I absolutely hate playing Isak. Isak's one of them strikers I really hate playing against, like Aguero, for example, or a Drogba. Hate it. The point is they're a bigger challenge, but as an LSE fan, I enjoy your streams more. Some of the bigger ones, as you guys talk sense, you will be at 10k subs in no time. Keep doing your thing. Thank you so much, DB. Chats like this, mate. Chats like this, honestly, and comments like this make me do what I'm doing and keep me going and doing what I'm doing. Like starting October, I was just unsure about starting a channel, and I appreciate everyone that has come in and subscribed and things like that and get involved in the comments. To where we've gone from October, I I'm overwhelmed and sort of thankful for everything that has happened, and I certainly will be keep going, and hopefully at some point can say 10k, so that would be nice. But let's get to 750 subs so far, and then maybe 1,000 after that. I'd keep Van Dijk as captain, mate. Grab Vice as you want, captain in the middle, dictating everything from front to back, orchestrating the team. It's so warm, Ahil, and I want to ask, actually, because I said it at the start of the stream, Dominic, as you are a Newcastle fan, are you sweating? I'm sweating in the warm, but how are you feeling? And then you know when it's warm, when Reece has got his tank top on. The tank top does come out this time of year. It's all the time.
I had to run back to Bruce Willis. Come on, man.
He's back again.
I had to run it back. It's too hot, so there's 30 degrees. I'm sorry, man. I got to be able to breathe.
It's supposed to be about 29, 30 on Saturday.
Yes, I got to be able to breathe, so it's what it is, man. You know what I mean?
I'm sweating like Trent last night. Anyway, let's go on to Darwin Nunez. Liverpool striker Darwin Nunez is believed to open to a move to Napoli this summer. The Serie A champions have begun the work towards a deal. However, they're not willing to pay the valuation Liverpool have put him at, which is 70 million euros, which evaluates to 59.8 million pounds. Again, 59.8 million pounds now for Nunez. Is that too much? I think it's too much, but
it's just the sort of same old thing we've been saying for last week, couple of weeks. It's just you sell to Saudi, you get an extra 20 mil, don't you? You sell to Europe, you get an extra 30 mil off, 20 mil off. 50 is reasonable for Nunez, I'd say. Like I think 50 is a good price, to be honest. Anything below 40, don't bother. Like I think still got to go regardless. But if you're losing half the money you spent on him, then it's not really worth it. If you lose 25 million and we sound 50, that's not the end of the world. Like we've lost a lot more on players.
I think it'll be hard though. 50. I think we can get maybe 40, 45. I think if then at the minute it says they're hesitant about going over 35. I think the skill set of Edwards and whatnot and Hughes, I think they can get maybe 5 or 10 million more. But I don't even think it will be that amount up front. It'll probably still be something like 35, maybe 35 to 40 up front, maybe 5 million add-ons or bonuses or something. I want to get around 50, but Nunez has kind of put us between a rock and a hard place with his kind of Liverpool career over the past couple of years. So they're probably kind of looking at it that it's a gamble. If it pays off, great, but they're probably still looking at it as a big gamble for them. So hopefully.
You know, it made me laugh earlier, actually. I saw the clip of Adam McCullough and Rory Jennings talking about Nunez. They were basically laughing at, like Arsenal and Chelsea going for like Gyökeres and Sesko. I think, was it Gyökeres and Sesko? I think it was Sesko and Ekitike. And was it Ekitike? I think it was just Gyökeres and Sesko. And they were saying Nunez is better. Well, Adam McCullough and Rory Jennings, Nunez is right there. Have him. Let's see if you think he's better. Have him. We're giving you on a plate, a packet of Watsits, whatever you want to pay for him, have him. And then we'll see who's better. Because I'll tell you one thing, if you have Nunez, you won't be saying that. Isak is not joining Liverpool. Why would he go to Liverpool for my club? It is not a selling club, and we have got Champions League as well as Liverpool. I agree with that, Jonathan. I appreciate you coming in as well, Jonathan. I appreciate Newcastle fans coming in. And I love rivals coming in and speaking to us about football. We talk about not just Liverpool on here, he's talking about, but we talk about football in general. We love football. All of us on this channel love football. I play football. I watch it every single week, every single night. So I love rivals coming on here and speaking as well. And I sort of get what you're coming from in terms of like if I was Isak, I would be looking at Newcastle thinking, yeah, you've got a good thing going on. You're a big club anyway. You're in the Champions League first season. Maybe wait it out a little bit. But without disrespecting Newcastle, because they're a massive club and should never be disrespected, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, those teams are a level above. And when they come calling, as we've seen with Real Madrid, we've lost our players to Real Madrid. When Barcelona come calling, it's hard to say no. Coutinho went to Barcelona. Trent went to Real Madrid. When these teams, when there's a team that's a level above in terms of, and I think the level between Liverpool and Newcastle is bigger than the level between Liverpool and Real Madrid in terms of where we're fighting for titles. It's a different sort of thing, and you don't have to sell players like you said, yes, but Isak's got a short career. He might want to go and when a team like Liverpool come in, it's going to open your eyes. It is, and if he was from Newcastle, then fair enough, and he was a Newcastle fan, but he's not. He's from Sweden. He probably grew up on Premier League football, where Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea are the biggest teams. Then, when a team like Liverpool comes in, it's a different thing. I mean, look at this. We got Wirtz from Germany. Wirtz. German players don't leave Bundesliga usually when Bayern Munich are involved. That is a usual. Yeah, you go to Bayern Munich. That's what German players do. They go to Bayern Munich. When Liverpool came in, it's a different thing, and Wirtz is now going to become a Liverpool player because of it.
Do you know what I think?
I'm not disrespecting Newcastle with that, but I think if Isak sees that and he's like, it's opened his eyes a little bit, Naj.
Yeah, cool. I don't like to say I don't disrespect Newcastle stuff like that, but I just think like without sounding like cocky, big headed, whatever, but Liverpool more chance of winning something again next year of like high quality, like retaining a Premier League or winning the Champions League. With all due respect to Newcastle, I don't think they're at that level yet. I know Isak sort of keeps them at that level. Like I don't think they get Champions League without Isak. I think that's probably a fact. But if they sell Isak, they've still got Anthony Gordon. They've still got probably the best midfield in the Premier League, if arguably the best between Liverpool's and Newcastle's. I'd probably argue that.
Even City, maybe we'll put in there now as well. Maybe
City.
In terms of midfields.
Oh, yeah.
Midfields
I thought you said something else then.
No.
I thought you said Chelsea. I was because he only got 2 players. I mean, that Chelsea midfield's all right, actually. It's not too bad.
It's one of the best midfields in the league.
Yeah, not too sure about Enzo Fernandez, though, to be honest. I think he's a bit hit and miss. But I think Caicedo and Lavia are very good.
On paper, Chelsea midfield, but I need the consistency for the whole season for me. I need the consistency for the whole season. On paper, in terms of the names, yeah.
But I think that, I think Liverpool just got more chance of... I don't like saying stuff like this because, football's like unpredictable and stuff like that. But I think, Liverpool got more chance of winning something bigger than Newcastle have. Like, I see a lot of Newcastle fans saying Newcastle are going to be in a title race next season. I think they'll be here and thereabouts, but I think not with the competition of the Champions League, the way it's formatted now, especially as well. Like, I don't know how far they can keep going in a title race as such when there's teams like Liverpool, City, who have massively strengthened this summer and they haven't even signed anyone. So, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know whether, like, if they sell Isak now, does that make their chances of getting more players in to make that squad bigger and better when they can win potentially an FA Cup next season? Like, that's the next step up from the Carabao, retain Champions League, because they've not done that yet, by the way. They've not retained the Champions League spot. If they could do that, then that's better for them, isn't it, really? Because then they can build on that again and keep going. I think, yeah, there's a lot of goods for Newcastle of selling Isak. I mean, it sounds crazy that. I mean, there's a lot of bads for selling Isak as well. The unpredictability of who they're going to get, but like, I don't know. Eddie Howe's a good manager, and I'll back him on that. And I think he's good.
It's literally he's stuck in a rock and a hard place. Literally with Isak. Do they sell him and cash in on him and try build a team, or do they keep him because he's vital? Like to go again to try and retain that Champions League place, as Naja said, and maybe go into challenging titles, go into challenging cups again. Because they won the Carabao Cup, they can build on. I think Newcastle can build on that, and I think they can be a title threat if they build on it. That's key, but you need to keep your best players, and Isak is their best player alongside, like a Guimaraes, for example. But then, have they got the money then to go and invest? They need to build on that and invest into maybe another winger to help Murphy on that side, maybe another midfield to give some depth, maybe another defender, maybe another attacker to help Isak as well because Callum Wilson's going. They need to do that, but are they doing that without Isak sale? That's the question. If they do that, then I think they can become a serious threat maybe not for the title this season, but certainly in the next couple of years, they could, if they keep building. Newcastle are a big enough club to sustain that, I think. But they need that Isak sale to do that. That's the question.
I've got a good question for you both. If you was Newcastle and you got 125, 130 million for Isak, right? And Gyökeres is still available. You need a winger because Jacob Murphy's not getting any younger. Would you do that, though? Just thinking of how much you could bring in for that sale of Isak, would you do that?
I would, yeah. And with the money, if I was Newcastle, I would get Gyökeres. How much is he going to cost? Maybe, is it 78? Is it 60 or there? Aren't they kind of being a bit stush? They want 70 or 80. I think the gentleman's agreement is 60, I think, but they've gone back on that. They said they want 70 or 80. And then I would go and get Rashford for 40 million. He could play on the left.
I think they need more of a right. I know Murphy's had a good season.
Or Sancho, and he can play left or right.
Oh, I don't want Sancho.
Why not?
Rashford's better than Sancho.
Yeah, but for me, it's good player in Newcastle. It didn't work out at United. It might work out. Eddie Howe, it might be able to work. It's not Ten Hag. It's a manager who's actually got a decent reputation. He's been at Newcastle for a little while. A good manager. He's got a good track record with Bournemouth. And then that kind of deals with their winger problem, and then they end up getting a good striker. Still got midfield, and then that's a good supply for Gyökeres. I would.
If I was Newcastle, I'd look at Semenyo.
I would.
Oh, agreed. I think that I was thinking that would be, if you was a Newcastle fan or you support Newcastle, right? Retaining that Champions League space, build, maybe get an FA Cup, whatever. You know, like you spoke. You said that I'd do that. Like Gyökeres coming in. People, it's like this sort of thing around Gyökeres at the minute. Like, oh, do people want to go for him? It's a bit like, you know, people are not like, you know, pull the trigger. Like, let's go and get him right now. It's a sort of like, it's not all there. Like, I don't know why that's because he plays in Portugal, stuff like that. But like Gyökeres going to a Newcastle, there's not that pressure there. There's no pressure of going to a club like United where everyone's going to be on your back. You've got to score goals. You've got to get stuck. You got to do this. You got to do that. You go into Arsenal, exactly the same at Arsenal. Everyone's going to be on your back to score goals and stuff like that, and just hit the ground running. You know, if you go to, I mean, I think Liverpool's a slightly little bit different, I would say, in that terms. Like, if he comes at Liverpool, he doesn't start off straight away. It's not the end of the world. But with Newcastle, there's almost like not that pressure there because he can just sort of embed into the team. João Pedro comes in, you know, like you say, Sancho, Semenyo, Rashford, any of them players could come in and they could just sort of build on what they've done already. And then if Gyökeres is a success, I think he will be, there's just not that pressure there, which I think probably work out better for the player as well. Like him going to United, there's too much pressure on him, I think, to do well straight away. And let's be honest, Newcastle's team's brilliant and United team's just crap, to put a bottom line. I think that would be if they were to sell Isak to Liverpool, it's not the end of the world for them, really. It's actually probably maybe a good thing for them, and if you look at it in that way.
Jonathan said here we can have that Dutch player from Liverpool. Which Dutch player do you want? We've got a few of them. The best one is, as Duncan said here, it's Darwin Nunez. Darwin Nunez is available if you want him. He's brilliant, by the way, Newcastle fans. You've seen him up close. Look how he can score against you. 2 goals. See how good he is. Darwin Nunez, the new Dutch player. Rashford would not fit into our wage structure, says Dominic. Yeah, well, Rashford needs to start looking at himself and think, take a wage cut if he wants to play first team football.
That's a fair point. I didn't even think about the wages he's on.
I will drive himself my there, and I live in Kent, says Duncan. Is that Darwin Nunez? But yeah. Well, players on the way out. Another player on the way out before we do go is Harvey Elliott as well. The value of him that we're asking for him is, I think it was 40 million being reported by Ad Jones, who is a journalist for The Athletic. So £40 million, another decent amount of price tag for Elliott. Me and I spoke earlier about Elliott and saying, like, we don't really want him to go, but he deserves first team football somewhere.
Yeah,
£5 million, decent amount of money again.
Yeah, I think that's good money. He wants to be first choice. I think he would be happy to be a squad player, but the question is, how long would he be happy for that? And I don't see him ever being more than a squad player. I think he's talented. I just don't think he's a slot type of player. If Klopp was still here, then yeah, 100% he's got more chance of breaking through in the first team. We did see him playing regular football a few seasons ago before he got that unfortunate injury against Leeds a couple of seasons ago. But if he does move on, I wish him all the best, and I think it will work out for him because he's too talented for him not to concede another team where he might get, like I said, he'll be playing more regularly, and the style of play might even suit him a bit more, and if he's got a manager that trusts and believes in
him. 40 million for Elliott, Naj. Is that reasonable? I think it's probably the most you're going to get from him, isn't it, really?
And I mean, look, whoever gets him's getting a good player. If you pay 40 million for Harvey Elliott, it's a good player you're getting. You're going to get a player who's this is not even wild saying it. He's technically probably one of the best young players in the Prem. With the way how technically good he is, passing, his shooting from range is brilliant. His ball control is actually very good, actually. But like I say, he's just not got the physicality for the Liverpool team. I think he'll do well wherever he goes. He needs sort of a possession-based team or a team where he has sort of like the runners around him and he's in like maybe an attacking mid-role.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see that though. The attacking mid-roles coming back a lot into football. It died, didn't it, for a few years?
Yeah, it did, yeah.
I think that's a great thing. Yeah, I think it's a really good thing for Harvey Elliott. I mean, we've got obviously 2 attacking mids at the club already, and Szoboszlai and Wirtz coming in as well. So as soon as Wirtz comes in, we knew that was the Elliott going out of the club. But I think I'm a massive fan of Harvey Elliott, and I just think he's just go and play football somewhere, lad, and enjoy your career. Break into that England squad like you want to. You've played about 1,000 games from England under 21s. Every time you play for England 21s, you're a joke. You're so good. I want to see him playing in England shirt. I want to see him fulfill his dream of doing that. I don't think he can do that. Liverpool's not going to get to do that. So I want to see him go and do that for him because I like that. I like him. He's a good player and he deserves that. Really does.
Yeah, I wish Elliott all the best all the time because he's a Liverpool fan. He said it himself. Look, if it was up to me, I would stay here, but he wants first team football and deserves first team football. It's too good to be on the bench, and so yeah, I think Dominic said here, like Elliott, Eddie Howe would improve it. I think it'd suit Newcastle. And it also gives you another player way of playing. Obviously, you've got the 3 midfielders now, but you could play that number 10 with Elliott at times.
How would you go about 110 million up front and then Elliott as part of a swap deal? That's that pushes it to 150. He gets to stay in the Prem. He gets to be in Champions League football as well. He probably will play a lot more under Newcastle. I think Eddie Howe. I think he's an Eddie Howe type of player. I think personally.
Eddie Howe.
Go on, mate.
Sorry. Eddie Howe likes sort of like a really. He likes really aggressive on the front foot midfielders, doesn't he? But like in sort of the positions, he's not really like they press well. Newcastle. That's one thing I will say. I don't think Elliott's that bad at pressing. He's just not quick.
I don't think he would play in the mid. I think he would play on the wing where he would float in. I think he has that kind of inside forward. That's what I think.
If you keep Livramento and get Harvey Elliott, that could be a real. And obviously with Tonali sort of comes in off the right, goes out to the right, doesn't he? Like a Henderson used to do it for Liverpool. I think that could really work well for Elliott because he's good at getting that little half space, isn't he, out on the edge of the box or getting in the box. His passing's brilliant, by the way. Yeah, he would be good at Newcastle. It's weird, isn't it? Because if you say that with 110 and then Elliott, like that sounds like a good thing, isn't it? Really, I think Newcastle are getting a really good deal out of that if it happens. Like, because let's be honest, Elliott could really be worth more than that if he fulfills his.
Easy. So, I hope he does go to someone like a Newcastle. And if it's part of the Isak deal, that's perfect because I want him to be at a good club. I think Newcastle's a good club for him. And that will get better for him. I think, like Dominic said, I think Eddie Howe will get the best out of Elliott, and that'd be nice to see. So we will see if Isaac leaves or not, says Jonathan. We certainly will. I think it is one to just keep an eye on right now. It is a possibility. I don't know what Reece laughing. Something's happened here. Philly's
that comment there, Madge.
Yeah.
Jason McAteer vibes. But yeah, so keep your eyes open on Alexander Isak. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It is a dream. It is one of our dream signings of the stream that we saw a few months ago, which Richard Hughes clearly watched because we've got Florian Wirtz with the line and we've got in potentially Isak. So yeah, it is something to be looking out for in terms of Isak. If anything happens, like we always say on here, we will be on here as soon as possible. If we get a Kirky's deal done, we'll let you know on here. If when the Wirtz thing is official, hopefully next week, we will be on here to tell you for that as well. Make sure you do join us tomorrow night live again for Red Zone. Red Zone is Friday nights. It's a more chilled to talk about the week's events, talk about the week's news and football in general as well. And DB, I've given a couple of people in the chat a moderator sort of tag, so you can like, if anything goes off in the chat, if anything says it's something inappropriate, just let me know. I do like banter. I like people coming in. Maybe like my United fan came in or a Chelsea fan like that and come in for banter. I'm absolutely fine with that, but nothing like, if you see anything discriminatory or anything like that, then you have the power now to get rid of it in the chat. But if anyone else wants to be a moderator, let me know as well in the chat, because obviously it is with the chat going off and the streams and the channel getting bigger and bigger, the chat goes faster and faster, and I'm trying to keep up with it all. Sometimes I miss things, sometimes I don't. But if I do miss things, I do apologize. But yeah, let me know in the chat if you do want to be a moderator in the chat. And big up Dominic as well. Big up Dominic and big up Jonathan for coming in, Newcastle fans. I absolutely appreciate that, guys. And hopefully you join us again for more Talking Reds or Talking Newcastle, whatever. But next season, we've got some big plans. A rival show coming on. We've got Newcastle fan, Tottenham fan, Arsenal fan, hopefully my United fan. I'm trying to get a couple of fans together to get a rival show going on. We've got some more streams coming out as well next season. Maybe watch-alongs come in. Maybe watch-alongs could come in. If you want to to watch me melt down, then certainly get onto that. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching tonight, and we will speak to you all tomorrow. Make sure you do like the video if you like this sort of content, and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. Speak to you all tomorrow, guys, and join us again at 7 o'clock.